Example 1 here on binomial distribution hypothesis test is taking a look at a binomial hypothesis test. So here, as this is a hypothesis test, the first thing we want to do to start off with is just give our hypotheses. So H0 here, well, as this is a binomial hypothesis test, we're using probability here. So we use P to represent this. Now, we use the probability that's given here of 0.6. So we're saying P equals 0.6. And for our H1 here, well, in this case, again, it's going to be P, but we need to decide what we put after P here. And the way to decide is based on whether this is a one-tailed hypothesis test or a two-tailed hypothesis test. And the way to check here is to look at the language that's used in the question. As EDIF is certain the probability of sandwiches being in stock has decreased here, that would suggest a one-tailed hypothesis test here. Okay, because what we're looking for is the probability, or the probability here being less than 0.6. Okay, so P is less than 0.6 here, and that gives us our hypotheses here. Okay, so we've got a one-tailed hypothesis test. Let's define now the test statistic. So the test statistic here for the test statistic, we use X here to represent this, and X is the number of sandwiches. So this is the number of sandwiches in stock over the last 5 days, we should say, over the last 5 days. Okay, so we note this down here. So that gives us the test statistic. We want to define the distribution here, so what we say is under H0, what we've got here is X, which is a binomial distribution. Well, for N here, our N parameter, we just take a look at how many days this is over. So in this case, it's over 5 days, so N is 5. Now our probability just corresponds again to here, 0.6. So that gives us the distribution. Again, taking a look at the question now, we can denote the significance level. So the significance level here, simply 0.05. So we use alpha again to represent the significance level. So that's 0.05 here. So now, all we need to do is use the distribution we've defined here to work out a probability, and we can compare that to the significance level to decide whether we accept H0 or reject H0. Well, here, the probability that we want to find is using this distribution here, X, and this probability takes into account the evidence that EDIF has found. So, after only one sandwich being in stock in the last 5 days here, that means we're going to take a look at X here, involving the 1. So all we need to decide then is what symbol goes here. Well, in this case, as this is a one-tailed hypothesis test, we just simply take a look at our H1 here. As this is less than, that means X is less than or equal to 1 here. Okay, so calculating this probability here, using this distribution for X, we obtain 0.0870 there. Okay, so now comparing this to our significance level here, we obtain that 0.0870 is larger than 0.05 here. So 0.0870 is larger than 0.05, so therefore we accept H0. So we accept H0, and we say here there is insufficient evidence. So insufficient evidence to suggest EDIF is correct. Okay. And that's all we need to say there for our conclusion. So that gives us the solution to example 1 there.